Day 6 is here, and I shouldn't have to tell you at this point to make sure that you do your power warm-up. You should know that by now, and hopefully it's becoming a habit that you wake up, drink some water, and within an hour of waking up, you go through your power warm-up, you do your exercises, and then now we're going to capitalize on that window of opportunity. So what's going on here on day 6? It's really our last day before tomorrow's retest, and yes, we have a few more things we're going to be doing tomorrow, but today, we're really going to start to speed things up just a little bit, and we're going to unlock even more rotary power. Because here's the thing. We've done work up until now to get our thoracic spine moving. We've done work to get our hips moving. We've even done some work to learn how to grip the ground with our feet, get our toes splaying, and start to work on one hand and then the other. But today, we're going to learn how to really get our sequencing fired in the right way. So let's think for a second about if we were to, say, throw a ball. Let's think about a baseball pitcher. What do? Well, they wind up, they step, they turn, and they release. Same thing with a quarterback. It's that same movement. Same thing happens in the golf swing. When we get to the top, we load up, we turn the lower body turns the upper body, and it gets the club to fly on out, and we get a lot of club head speed. So we're really thinking from the ground up. Ground to feet, feet to legs, legs to core, core up into the chest and shoulders, shoulders down the arms, arms and hands out the club into the golf ball. That being said, a lot of players, and yourself might be included in this, don't necessarily have the right sequence. And a lot of times what happens is because of a lack of mobility, maybe in the hips or maybe in the chest, a lot of players will end up doing something like, say this. They get to the top, their club or the hands go first, then their lower body, then their torso, or what have you. But it would be like throwing a ball like this. Right? It's just not efficient. Another way of thinking about it is if we were, say, driving a car and we went from gear to gear to gear, it's kind of like you started in third or fourth gear, right? The first thing that went was supposed to be the last thing. So you actually start off really slow and then try to rev it up and save whatever you can in terms of power, but we don't want that. We want to start in a low gear, work our way up into a high gear, and if we can do that, we can actually compound the acceleration that we get going into the swing. Now, to do that, we do a step and swing, and we've seen some glimpses of this through other trainings that we've done throughout the week, but essentially what we're going to do is swing forward, swing back as we start to step, right? So start to step as we swing back, and then swing through. Now we're going to do this both on your dominant side, but also on your non-dominant side. And the big reason for doing non-dominant swings is, again, to use the car analogy, I always like to ask people, what good is a Ferrari that doesn't have any brakes? And, you know, it looks good. You can drive it once, and then you're probably going to end up getting hurt, and this is going to be a disaster. But Ferraris do have brakes. They have really good brakes. And if you look at cars, the faster the car can go, typically the bigger and more powerful the brakes are, because we need to be able to stop it. Well, when we swing on our non-dominant side, which for me is like swinging like a lefty because I'm righty, when I do that, I put bigger brakes on my car, and now my engine is free to accelerate powerfully. And especially if I can take that powerful engine that I now know I can stop, and I go from first gear to second gear to third gear to fourth gear, right? You get what I'm doing here, right? So we're removing that governor that's holding us back. So not only are we getting our sequencing, but we're also going to remove that governor. So that's your homework for today. Get your sequencing really, really good. If you can do it while hitting a ball, that's even better. But if you don't have access to a ball, no problem. Just have enough room to swing. Now tomorrow, we're going to come back in. It's going to be our last day as we do a retest, and we'll talk about what to do when we get to that point, because like we've been saying all week, just because it's the end of the 7 days doesn't mean it's the end of your mobility journey. We're just getting started. So go ahead, do your work today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Move better, play better.